A ball is thrown into the air with a velocity of 38 feet per second. Its height in feet after t seconds is given by the function s of t, which is equal to 38t minus 16t squared. We want to find the velocity in feet per second of the ball at time t equals 1 second. So what we want to be able to do is, first, we know that our function is s of t, which is equal to 38t minus 16t squared. Okay, so now, since we know that that's our function, we now want to find the velocity at when t is equal to 1. So that means we want to find the limit as t approaches 1 of s of t minus s of 1 divided by t minus 1. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have the limit as t approaches 1. So we know the function s of t is 38t minus 16t squared minus s of 1, so that's 38 times 1 minus 16 times 1 squared all over t minus 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and combine like terms here. So in the numerator we have 38t minus 16t squared. Okay, over here this gives us 38 minus 16, which is equal to 22. But then we got to distribute the sign. So that gives us minus 22 over t minus 1. Okay, now let's just go ahead and rearrange this to be negative 16t squared plus 38t minus 22 all over t minus 1. Okay, so now we need to factor this. So we're going to have to factor using the AC method. So let's go ahead and factor. So we have negative 16t squared plus 38t minus 22. We can factor out a negative 2, and what we get is 8 positive 8t squared minus 19t plus 11. Okay, so we need to bring back that 2, but here we need to factor this using the AC method. So we know that the value of A and C, well, A and C is 8 times 11, which is 88, and the middle number is 19. So what two numbers can we multiply to get 88 that when we add them together it's going to give us negative 19? Well, you can see here that negative 8 times negative 11 is going to give us negative 88. When we add them together it's going to give us negative 19. So we have 8t squared minus 8t, and then minus 11t plus 11. And now we can factor by grouping. So if we factor out an 8t, what we have left is t minus 1. Over here we should get t minus 1, and we can factor out 11. And so now we end up getting the following. If we factor out the t minus 1, times 8t minus 11, and then bring down the negative 2. So now we can replace the numerator to the factored form. So we have negative 2 times t minus 1 times 8t minus 11 all over t minus 1. So therefore we can simplify the t minus 1. So we end up getting the limit as t approaches 1 of negative 2 times 8t minus 11. So now let's go ahead and apply the limit. So we have negative 2 times 8 times 1 minus 11. Well, that's negative 2 times negative 3, which is equal to positive 6. And so therefore we would say the following. We would say, thus, the instantaneous velocity when t equals 1 is 6 feet per second.